Hello and welcome to UPSCFEVER.com's chapter number 19 of the science section. This is on lights, shadows and reflections. So the chapter starts with an introduction about light. Light is made up of 7 colors, violet being the lowest wavelength and which bends the most, and red has the highest wavelength and it bends the least. This bending of light is observed when light passes through a prism, and this phenomenon of bending of light is also known as dispersion. So you can note that down. Dispersion. Light is a transverse wave and it is not a mechanical wave. So it obeys the laws of reflection. The first law of reflection says that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So when light is incident on a surface at a particular angle, it is reflected from the surface at the same angle. Also, the second law says that angle of incidence, angle of reflection and the normal, they both lie on the same plane. The normal is a perpendicular line to the surface, and the angle made by the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection with the normal is same. Diffusion is caused when the reflection of light takes place from an irregular surface, because the surface of the is not smooth and it is irregular, so the reflected rays are not parallel to each other, and this causes diffusion. Right, so moving on, the next topic is on human eye and its constituents. So you can see the diagram of the human eye here. The white part of the eye, you can see from here, is tough to protect the interior parts of the eye from accidents. The transparent coating is known as cornea, and it also has the iris which lies behind the cornea. It is this iris that gives the eye its color. Iris has a small opening called pupil, and iris controls the amount of light entering the eye. Behind the pupil is a convex lens which focuses the light on the retina. The retina has two types of cells. One is the rod shaped cell, and this is for detection of dim or low light, and cone shaped cells which are used for detection of bright lights and colors. So you can note this down, the two types of cells that are present in the retina. In birds that are flying during the daytime, the cone shaped cells are more in their eyes than the rod shaped cells, whereas nocturnal birds, that is the birds that come out only during the night, have more number of rod shaped cells compared to the cone shaped cells. The sensations from these cells go to the brain via the optic nerve, and the brain then interprets the image. So that was about the eye, and now moving on to the various disorders. Sometimes the crystalline lens of the eye becomes milky or translucent, and it becomes difficult to view through the eye, and this problem is very common in old age and is known as cataract. This can be treated fully by use of surgery. Myopia or short-sightedness, which means that a person cannot view properly objects that are far away and so needs corrective lenses or spectacles. So this is corrected using a concave lens. Hypermetropia is far-sightedness, which means reading books which are close to the eye is very difficult, and so this is corrected using the convex lens. The next disorder is presbyopia. Presbyopia affects the ability of the eye to adjust its focal length, and so it is tough to see objects that are both nearby or far away, because the eye has to be adjusted properly before such objects are viewed. Such a person needs bifocal lenses where the upper part is concave for far sight, whereas the lower part is convex for near sight, and it is common in people which have crossed the age of 40. Astigmatism is another disorder. This occurs when the cornea of the eye is not spherical in shape, and so a person with such a defect, the object when viewed through the eye looks like a wire mesh or a grid of lines. So focusing on either the vertical part of the object or the horizontal part of the object may not be as sharp as it is through a normal eye, and hence astigmatism makes viewing through the eye very difficult. However, this can be corrected by using a cylindrical lens or cylindrical spectacles of a proper radius of curvature. The defect can occur along with myopia or hypermetropia. So this is also a common disorder. You can see astigmatism. It is corrected using asymmetric lenses, whereas far-sightedness and near-sightedness are shown here. So the next part is about lenses and mirrors. A mirror is used for many purposes and it is of many types. An image formed on a plane mirror, which is usually seen in our houses, is virtual, erect and laterally inverted. Spherical mirrors are of two types, concave or convex. So the concave mirror you can see here. Okay, so these are examples of concave mirrors. They are used in dental equipments by doctors to check ear, nose and throats. They are also present in the reflectors of torches, headlights of vehicles and shaving mirrors, because the object when viewed through the concave mirror is enlarged. Image of concave mirrors can either be real or virtual, inverted or erect, or it can be of the same size, larger size or smaller size, and all this depends upon the position of the object with respect to the mirror. So you can see this is a virtual image, whereas in this case we get a real image. You can also see a real image here. This is inverted and small. This is of the same size. So depending upon the position of the object with the mirror, we get different types of images. Right, so the next part is the convex mirror. The convex mirror is used mainly for rear view mirror of vehicles. So the objects formed using the convex mirror are virtual, erect and diminished from any angle. The images of objects spread over a larger area, and hence it is used in the rear view or side view mirror of vehicles. So you can see in this image that wherever the object is kept, you will always get a virtual erect image which is diminished, and so the convex mirror is used in the rear view mirrors or side view mirrors of cars. The next topic is lenses. Lenses are transparent and they form images by refraction of light. So bending of light when it passes through the media is known as refraction. A convex lens is usually used as a magnifying glass, and it is thicker at the middle and thinner at the edges. The image of a convex lens is real or inverted, or of the same size or of a larger or smaller size depending on its position from the mirror. So the image formed from a convex lens is same as the image formed from a concave mirror, whereas the image formed from a concave mirror is concave lens is same as the image formed from a convex mirror. So you can remember that like this. So we will just see the concave lens, and this gives an image which is always virtual, erect and diminished, which is same as the convex mirror. So convex mirror and concave lens, and it is also the other way around. Convex lens are also converging, whereas concave lenses are diverging. The power of convex lenses is positive and the power of concave lenses is negative. One use of convex lenses is they are usually used in microscopes, refracting telescopes and reflecting telescopes, whereas concave lenses are used in reflecting telescopes only. So these are some of the examples where convex and concave lenses are used. The last topic is a miscellaneous collection of items from various textbooks related to vision. So refraction of light, which I already said, is known as bending of light when it enters a medium. So this medium can be a glass, it can be water, it can be any medium. Due to refraction, the pencil appears to bend when dipped inside the water. A coin which is present inside the water also appears to be raised, and objects inside water appear enlarged. Other phenomena which are caused from refraction of light are twinkling of stars, delayed sunset, advanced sunrise, apparent flattening of sun at sunrise and sunset, and converting of the sun into an oval shape. All these are examples of refraction. The phenomenon of dawn and twilight, which is also observed in the regions which are not close to the equator. Dawn and twilight are not seen in the equatorial regions, but these are also examples of refraction. There is maximum length of dawn and twilight is seen in the poles, and the duration of dawn and twilight decreases towards the equator, and it is almost zero at the equator. The next phenomenon is total internal reflection. So this occurs when a ray of light traveling from a denser to a rarer medium. So a denser is a thicker medium, highly viscous, whereas a rarer medium is less dense or less viscous. And so when a ray of light passes from this denser to a rarer medium and is incident at an angle of more than the critical angle, then it is reflected inside and no refraction takes place. So it does not escape from that medium, and this phenomenon is known as total internal reflection and is common in diamonds and mirage, and so it is also used in optical fibers and prisms to make so this phenomenon plays a critical role in transmission of information through the optical fibers. And the shining quality of diamonds is because they are cut in such a manner that whenever light is incident on them, it should be totally internally reflected, and this makes the diamond shiny. Similarly, when a light ray enters from a optically rarer medium to an optically denser medium, it bends towards the normal and its speed also decreases, whereas the reverse happens when it moves from a rarer it enters a rarer medium from a denser medium. Light also is known to travel the fastest in vacuum and the slowest in solids. Next is the phenomenon of persistence of vision. So whenever an object is placed in front of the retina, the image of that object remains in the retina for 1/16th of a second after the object is removed. And so if the second object is brought before the 1/16th of the second expires, then the mind presumes it to be a continuous image, and this is used in cinema halls. So when we watch a film, the frames of the film are brought in front of the eyes at a rate that is faster than 1/16th of a second, and hence we feel that it is a continuous moving image, whereas it is only a series of pictures. Objects that give out light are known as luminous objects, and shadows need a source of light. So without light there will not be any shadow, but shadows also need a opaque object. So if there is a transparent object present, then it won't have any shadow. Finally, the tidal effect. So you may note this down. It is also known as the tidal effect. It is known as scattering of light. So this tidal effect is responsible for the blue sky phenomenon and the reddening of the sun at sunrise and sunset. The blue wavelength of light is easily scattered by dust particles, and hence sky appears blue. Violet is more easily scattered, but blue is very sensitive color for our eyes, and so our eyes are better able to detect the color blue than the color violet, and so for us the sky appears blue. However, if we move to a very great height where the phenomenon of scattering is negligible, blue sky disappears and we see a dark colored sky. Another reason why the alert lights or the beacons on top of VIP cars are red, because red has a higher wavelength and it won't be easily scattered by dust or fog, and so a red light travels for a longer distance without getting scattered and is easily visible from a distance. Similarly, at sunrise or sunset, the sunlight travels a greater distance to reach us, and so the smaller wavelengths are already scattered and only the longest wavelength, which is red color, reaches us, and hence we feel that the sunlight and sunset sun is red in color. As I already told you, birds during the daylight, the birds that are present in the day, they have more cone shaped cells than the rod shaped cells in their eyes, and that is why they can easily perceive bright light and colors, whereas the nocturnal birds have more rod shaped cells which are more sensitive to the dark colors, the dull colors, and so the cone shaped cells in their eyes are less. Finally, this last fact is the Braille. So this was invented by Louis Braille, who was blind and wanted to read books. So he invented this pattern, which is for those who can feel their way on letters. So there are 63 characters and each has a distinctive feel on the fingers, and using this we can use our fingers and read the book through this Braille pattern. So that was it about this long chapter on light. So there is a small MCQ test, and if you are confident enough, you can attempt this. You need to score at least 80% marks, otherwise you can watch this video again or read this chapter. To reach here, you can type www.upscfever.com and then you can go to our drop down menu. You can click on UPSC and you can go to the science section In the science table of contents, you will go see this in chapter number 19, light, shadows and reflection. So that was it. Thank you.